There's an island in the Pacific where people used giant stone discs as money. Not coins, not bills, massive limestone wheels, some up to 12 feet across, about the size of a car. And here's the part that breaks your brain. One of the most valuable coins in the island's history was sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Nobody had seen it in decades, but everyone agreed it existed, and that was enough. That made it real. That made it worth something. And honestly, that's not as weird as it sounds. The island is Yap, now part of Micronesia. For centuries, its people used stones called rai, carved limestone discs hauled by canoe from Palau, roughly 280 miles away. The journey was genuinely dangerous. People died making it. And that risk, that became part of the value. The bigger the stone, the harder the voyage, the more it was worth. According to ethnographer William Henry Furness, who documented the system in 1910, these stones were used for major transactions, land deals, political alliances, marriage arrangements, standard economy, unusual currency. Here's where it gets strange. The rai almost never moved. A stone the size of a dining table isn't exactly portable, so when ownership changed, the stone stayed exactly where it was, and the community simply updated their collective memory. Everyone remembered who owned what. No ledger, no bank, just shared knowledge passed down through generations. And that sunken stone? According to Furness's account, one family's discs slipped into the ocean during transport. The community acknowledged the loss, then unanimously agreed the stone still counted as valid wealth. Invisible asset. Fully accepted. Economist Milton Friedman noticed this in 1991 and made a sharp comparison. In 1932, France wanted to claim its gold reserves held at the U.S. Federal Reserve. Instead of shipping anything, the Fed simply labeled certain gold bars French. The gold never moved. France was satisfied. Friedman's point, the U.S. and Yap were running the same system. Different materials, identical logic. The value wasn't in the object, it was in the collective agreement about the object. Modern money works exactly this way. Your bank balance is a number on a server. You trust it because everyone else does. You might think this is ancient history. It isn't. In 2021, a Reddit community collectively decided GameStop stock was worth 10 times its price. For a moment it was. The stock responded to belief, not fundamentals. When the belief cracked, the price collapsed. Same mechanism as Yap, different island. The German colonial government once marked Yap stones with black crosses to signal confiscation. No stone moved, but the community accepted the loss immediately. Erase the mark, wealth returns. That's how fragile and how powerful collective belief really is. And that's exactly the kind of thing we dig into here on Quietly Broke. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every currency you've ever used worked on the exact same principle as a limestone disc in the Pacific. The dollar, the euro, your savings account balance, none of it exists without a crowd agreeing that it does. Yap just makes that fact impossible to hide, because the stone is too big to pretend away. The real lesson isn't about primitive economics. It's that the most sophisticated financial systems on Earth are running on the same engine: shared story, collective trust, mutual agreement to keep playing the game. Think about one financial thing you trust completely right now and ask yourself, what's actually backing that trust? Subscribe to Quietly Broke so you don't miss the next one. These stories have a way of changing how you look at your own bank account. Drop a comment below. If the community stopped believing in your bank tomorrow, what would you actually have left? Share this with someone who thinks crypto is the strange one, because after Yap, nothing is strange anymore. This video is for general educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not financial advice.